boy, come up off that neck. Give me that. To the trends. See you, Lee, be the band.
Good morning, happy Sunday, and welcome back to another episode of Corner to Copa. It is a hot, warm, sticky day in Michigan, and we're back with another week in Tigers baseball. Coach, how you feeling today?
Ooh, man, the air conditioning thermostat is set. As the boys of summer begin to take on the season of summer officially here in the Midwest. And boy, do these Tigers need some warming of any kind in any aspect. Kind of a lot to get into, some of the same stuff, some new details emerging from this past week's series, and some potential news to look forward to over the next couple of weeks. But boy, we thought we ended the schneid at the end of last week, man, and now we're staring down the barrel of potential another 1-win week. But as they say on the local national, well, they are the local national radio show here, the AL Comedy Central.
Oh, wow, that's hilarious. Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, we obviously were playing the struggling Boston Red Sox. And we got them back on the right track, and now we're facing the New York Mets in New York, and similar fate. We just got swept by New York. We welcomed in what's the guy's name? Ewing for the Mets, the rookie, AJ Ewing. He had a nice little debut series. Unfortunately for us. Even Bo Bichette, who's had a terrible year, was able to get back on track. So, we were swept by the Mets. A couple not close games. I think it was 9-4, 10-3, and I think we had one run game, which we haven't fared very well. I'll talk about that more in a little bit. But what did you see in that Mets series?
It was just inability to hit with runners in scoring position. The bullpen just a time or two during key moments of the game where they were needed to lock things down. They couldn't. They gave up some key hits, some key walks, the right combination to push across the game, differentiating run or runs late there. Finnegan had some issues, although overall he still had a really good year. It was interesting. I was wondering when we were going to see Kenley Jansen. It wasn't until this series, but he's been better since the last blown save. He hasn't pitched as much. So I'm not sure what that formula is for them going forward, because I do believe he pitched in a non-save situation just recently too. So I think they're kind of spreading some of the successes around the arms they have to try to cover themselves for those late inning high leverage situations. But a lot of poor defense as well. The error bug has kind of come back around again after the first couple weeks of the year. While Gage Workman's bat has been a nice lift at times, including the home run to win the game back one of the last home stands, his glove and arm are so far leaving much to be desired. So, and it's had kind of a trickle-down effect. We've seen some issues. Dingler on some throws, Torkelson. Bierling has had a weird route or two, I believe, on a ball. So when it rains, it pours kind of mentality, but they've been in most of those games this week, but just not enough here or there and one way or the other.
Yeah, we had a couple of short outings this week. Montero and Flaherty both didn't make it to the 5-inning mark. So the bullpen has definitely been taxed. You mentioned Kenley Jansen. He has not given up a run since the last major blow up on April 2. Can you hear that? Never mind. The last major blow up on April 24th. So he's got 5 clean outings. Haven't had many, save opportunities, many opportunities to win. So we'll have to see what it looks like in high leverage situations. But encouraging to see him because he was having some serious issues for a while. Yeah, you touched on Gage Workman. That's a name that we talked about for quite some time as far as his minor league work. So it's cool to see him hit really well. The defense needs some work, which is probably what held him up from getting the advancement sooner. But yeah, outside of that, Riley Green has continued to play all-star baseball. Arguably the best left fielder in baseball right now. Just go ahead and pay that man because he's been a constant for 3 years straight now, and he's stayed healthy. Knock on wood. Dinkler had a pretty good week. He's hit 3 or 4 this week. Hit at least one home run this week. I think he hit one in New York and possibly hit one back home as well. McGonigal's been solid. He's hit 250 the last week, but overall 306 for runners in scoring, 306 for runners on, 386 for runners in scoring position. I don't know. We might need to move him down in the order with numbers like that. But ultimately, the killer for me has been just the bottom of our lineup. We got way too many guys hitting under 200. You got Hyu Lee, you got McKinstry, you got Jahmai Jones, you got Jake Rogers, Wenzel Perez as well. And the ultimate head scratcher, I'll say it right now. I think that because Scott Harris misses Trey Sweeney so much, that's why Zach Short is because he plays that same position. He is still yet to get a hit yet. He is hitting 0 right now, and he's been up with the team for not playing every day, but for the last 2-3 weeks maybe. So
yeah,
just too many guys that are on a competitive team would be on their last leg being on the roster or at least at the major league level. But yet these guys are who we're bringing up there every day. So, but fast forwarding to this Toronto series, we got a little electricity back. Had a walk-off hit by Spencer Torkelson, which was exciting, and I would have liked to think it would lended us to that spark that we needed to string a couple wins together. But yesterday, Kyle Finnegan, like you said, has had a good season overall, but first pitch that he threw was deposited in the seats. So another one run loss. Now we won by 1 run Friday, but overall we are 5-9 in 1-run games. And I don't know. I would like to think that we just need to weather the storm and just hold serve until guys can get healthy. It's probably something that I probably echoed last week, but it just goes to show that when all things look, grand and nice going into the season, you just never know what twists and turns are going to come up once the regular season starts. Because we were relatively healthy going into the year. Obviously, Carpenter wasn't hurt, Torres wasn't hurt, Baez wasn't hurt, Verlander was healthy, but a lot has changed in a small period. But what are your thoughts about just the upcoming, just the next month or so? What are your thoughts on the team?
I mean, they've got about 6 weeks here. I figure by the start of July, you get your last, All-Star game is usually a couple weeks away, right? Mid-July, Midsummer Classic, All-Star game. The trade deadline is just a couple weeks after that. So they'll only have about a month or so, 5 weeks potentially, to really then start finding out the cost of being either a seller or a buyer at the deadline. But right now, man, the next 6 weeks, I mean, that's about how much longer they can, quote unquote, float around or hang in there or weather the storm, and not lose too much more ground than they already are right now. Because if they continue to drop like every other series, they play around 500 against Central, man, it's going to be a struggle, because that means they're going to have to go outside the division and claim a couple more series against probably better teams, quite frankly, quality-wise, to then make up those wins that you didn't get earlier in the year because you were banged up, this, that, and the other. Not to make too many excuses, but it is weird how many of these guys have been hurt going back even to last year, carrying over to this year as well. But at what point, too, if you're Scott Harris, you look at it, let's say you do, all right? Let's just say you do. We'll play along for a moment. Let's say you get to the deadline and you're right there, right? Within 4 or 5 games. That's within reason.
Realistic.
Is that enough for him to really go out and get a quality 1 or 2 guys in to do anything? We've seen these Detroit GMs at the deadline basically balk lately when it became evident that they were right there. Hell, last year they didn't do anything,
and we were doing better. That's the crazy part.
Right?
Yeah,
they sat in their laurels thinking, "Oh, my way is going to lead us all the way," and they didn't even win the division. So I think it would be ignorant if he didn't make a deal if they were right there or even leading, to just give him a little extra bump to try and make him a little more competitive in additional rounds of playoffs. But I don't know. We'll see. Everything kind of relies on how fast Skubal can get back. So between that and some of their other guys, if they continue this pattern right now, the last 2 weeks for into the second week of June for a month, it might be too late. 9-10 games back, and you're heading in towards the end of June, and you're still getting healthy, but he hasn't really changed too much. I mean, I'd like to see Harris make a trade early. I don't know. What about you?
That would be nice if he would just go ahead and pull the trigger now, because the needs are pretty evident as is. The next couple of weeks are going to be very important. We're going to talk about the upcoming schedule, but the elephant in the room is it's going to come down to how well we fare in the division. We have yet to play the White Sox or the Guardians, who are both ahead of us right now. So that's kind of the measuring stick right now. We know we aren't very good we weren't very good against the Twins. They're currently up on us based upon our head-to-head play. But realistically, it's the Twins should fall, we should rise. And it's just going to come down to battling out the Sox and the Guardians. As far as the optimism, I do like how, although we lost yesterday, Mize was dealing. He was back to where he left off. He's got a sub-3 ERA. So he's continuing to play at the pace that he was, during his all-star first half of the season, as well as where he was prior to the injury. So that is encouraging. Will Vest should be back this week at some point. And, Skubal, we'll still see how it plays out, but he is already playing catch, which is encouraging. I feel like some other guys, I'm getting into the injuries. Let's take a break and you can fill us in on the injury report. Let's keep the show flowing. All right, injury report. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so we've kind of settled down a little bit. By that, I mean a lot of it will be kind of updates and guys that are already on the list. But the new additions were Kerry Carpenter on the 10th was placed on the AC joint. For those that were watching, the Little League home run moment with Bobby Witt Jr. Was the result of Kerry kind of awkwardly playing that hot ground ball down the first base line. Went to the corner and awkwardly landed into the wall, hurting his shoulder. 10-day IL for him. JB was moved to the 60-day IL after he had been eligible for, I think, the last 3 weeks. He was eligible since mid to late April. So the last 2 to 4 weeks, he had been eligible to come off and we had talked last week. He needed to be asymptomatic after one of his bullpen sessions before they would send him down for rehab innings in Lakeland. Could not do it. So additional monitoring and treatment is needed for JV. Could that be his last start in a Tigers uniform? We'll see. But do not expect him back here for at least 60 days total. I think he's got another 20 to 25 days at least before he's eligible. So through the end of the month into the June, I believe, is when he'll be eligible next. And at the same time, they bought Gage Workman's contract, obviously, for those that already know he's already been playing most of the last couple series. Seabold on the 12th, Connor Seabold and Bobrisky were sent to rehab in Toledo. The following day, Troy Melton was as well, along with the activation of Framber off the, I believe would be the commissioner's suspended list for his actions for throwing at Trevor Story. And then on the 15th, Gleyber Torres, retroactive, was also placed in the 10-day IL. I believe we also have Gleyber wasn't placed on it. It was just an update that Hinge had said that he's trending upward towards closer to getting a rehab assignment. So no update on when he'll go, but it could be in the coming week, it sounds like. And Ty Madden, who did come out of the game the other day after getting drilled by a line drive comebacker off the forearm, x-rays were negative. They're going to continue to monitor him. He's considered day-to-day at the moment, which is a big breath of relief for Tiger fans after what was potentially looking like yet another injury and potential long-term one to Ty Madden after just coming back. So we'll monitor him day-to-day, and Will Vest, as we talked about briefly before the show, could be activated as early as today or any of the next early days in the coming week.
And Ty Madden took, I think they said it was 107 miles per hour. I was like, wow. I didn't see it live. You had texted me about it, but certainly didn't sound good. Was it a line drive? I mean, did it bounce or did it, well, it hit him in the arms. So I highly doubt it bounced, or maybe it did. Yeah.
It's possible, but I mean, I figure if it was a direct shot, usually that kind of shot will break your bone. It doesn't matter where it hits. It's almost guaranteed to fracture or break your bone. So it's still possible it could have went off the ground first. It would just have to be, and it could have kicked off the mound too. Like he hits the mound, it's not going to take too much off with the dirt. But that actually happened in a high school game this past week. Pitcher right here. I'm telling you, my goosebumps. I thought this kid was going to have like facial reconstructive surgery. This thing was a rocket, just like the one that Ty Madden took. I don't think it was 100.4 or 107.
Probably not.
But it was definitely in that 90 to 100 range. And everyone just kind of had a
caught it
moment. But yeah, he caught it. Yeah, he remember Mighty Ducks movie, Jenny the Cat, Gaffney. She catches that rocket. Or the knuckle slap shot puck, and he just the pitcher's hand was throbbing a bit after smacking that line drive. You could hear it the whole county. But good for Ty Madden because man.
Yeah, better his hands throbbing than his whole face. So he'll take that. But let's get into the minor league report. Max Anderson is on fire. He's currently hitting .357 with 4 home runs and 12 RBIs with a .990 OPS. He's missed some time with injury early in the year, but getting back to the success that he had a lot of last year and in spring training, I would have to think it's only a matter of time before he replaces Zach Short. Just my assumption, but I mean, we need He's not even on the 40-man roster. I can't really imagine why not at this point. But yeah, I think he's checked every box necessary. He's played some third base at the in spring training as well as fall ball. But he's got to be bringing more to the table than Mr. Short. So we'll see about that. I don't want to get too far off on that. Troy Melton had another successful outing. I don't have the numbers right in front of me. My notes disappeared on me. I had to freestyle a little bit. Zach McDonald, the heart of Portage, Michigan, continues to rake. He's got 10 home runs so far this year, and definitely a name to, if not by the All-Star break, by the All-Star break, to get a promotion to a higher level, because he's, tearing it up right now. Eduardo Valencia has hit 2 home runs in the last 2 days. Had a slow start to the season. He's starting to heat up. You've seen a lot more. The power numbers are definitely rising as the temperature does. Same thing with Thayron Lorenzo. He was injured during kind of around the World Baseball Classic time. So he had a slow start, but he's hit 2 home runs in the last 2 days. And we have a bit of a max attack at the AAA level. We have 3 Maxes batting right after each other. You got Max Burt in the 9 hole. You got Max Clark at the 1, and you got Max Anderson at the 2. So a lot of Maxes going on. But that will pretty much do it for the minor league report. Let's talk about
briefly minor league speaking, Bryce Rainier. I don't think I sent you this. I meant to. I'll have to go back and send it to you. Someone has been covering, they mentioned Bryce Rainier's kind of like swing mechanics and kind of like the herky-jerkiness of some of his hands, what he does with his bat, kind of preloading into his swing. And they said pretty much after he came back, his swing pretty much looked the same. But they posted a side-by-side video from this week, a game earlier in this week's series, to that pre-injury swing, which was pretty much the same after he came back this year. And you can tell he has shortened it. His hands are a little more smooth in transition when he goes to actually, unload through, attempted impact. And it's not as I always keep saying herky-jerky, but it's a lot going on. It's a lot of noise, I guess they would say, to kind of get yourself all in the right spot. So, but I think he's been doing all right as well since he's been back from injury, taking a little away. Yeah, there it is. Yep. Bingo. Good.
Yeah, they highlighted. So I think he had what did he have? An infield single. I can't remember what the last. Oh, here it is. Double to left. Steals without a throw and scores on a pass ball. We love that small ball. That small ball action. That's kind of how Max Clark gets it done as well sometimes. But yeah.
But I think the big picture, he looked healthy. I don't see any lingering issues from the shoulder injury and surgery. So I think that's, of all things, that's huge, considering some of the health concerns we've had at the parent club. So that's good to see, and his improvement in his mechanics as well. So could he end up maybe in Toledo by year's end?
Toledo, I'll take AA. I mean, he's in low. He's in.
Yeah, he was just promoted recently from low to high.
Right. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he pretty much missed all of last year with that injury, and they were very quiet up until we finally got to see him play a little bit in spring training. So, yeah, there was definitely a lot of worries, and it's going to take him. His mechanics have changed a little bit, so it's going to take him some time. But it's good to see him have some resemblance of success. I mean, that 477-foot home run he hit earlier this year, which was the longest in the StatCast era for the Tigers. I mean, that's huge. So, yeah. What's anything that's stood out to you around the league that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, Kyle Schwarber kind of came out of left field. Well, pun intended. He used to play a little bit outfield to grab the home run total right now from Jordan, who had it, along with Murakami, the big potential rookie of the year challenger to Kevin McGonigal with the White Sox. Schwarber, though, is the first to 20, continues to do it at 33 years old. I think he had 60 plus last year. So like with fine wine, some of these guys like him and Medelson and Yordan Alvarez were all 30 plus, continue to rake. Garrett Cole is close to returning for the Yankees as they continue to lead the American League, as much as that makes me want to vomit. They already have potentially 2 American League Cy Young candidates, including the current frontrunner Cam Schlittler, who's come out of nowhere from last year to absolutely dominate American League pitching, well, all of Major League Baseball, but representing the American League. And then Max Fried, who did land on the IL with a minor injury, also has had a phenomenal year for the Yankees. That could be a nasty 3-headed monster heading in the playoffs. And then another surprise, I don't want to say bounce back, but a guy who had been noted for Cy Young, but as in the National League with the Mets, current Rangers pitcher Jacob deGrom is also having a fantastic year. So a list of veteran and 30 and older guys getting it done right now across the league. It was funny. There was a little thing about guys who had a minimum amount of at-bats who didn't have a home run, and Luis Arias was on there. And I'm like, if you know anything about Luis Arias, he doesn't hit very many home runs at all. That's like seeing Placido Polanco not hit 15 home runs at the second baseman. Like, well, duh, that's not his game. Right. So, or, asking a catcher, a bigger guy, like, yo, you need to be getting me 30 bags a year on the base path stealing. I'm like, no. But, yeah, it's interesting. I nationally, I think the biggest team that keeps getting brought up in terms of surprise in a good way has been the Rays. They are, and we noted it the other week, they have been a surprise early. So we'll see, because I think the Orioles and some of the other teams they're kind of getting a little bit better. Boston showing some life, like you mentioned at the top of the show. We've kind of given them that little, revitalization for the last 10 days or so. But yeah, man, this team just needs to survive one day at a time going forward around the rest of the league. Because right now you pretty much have to throw everything else out. You focus on the division. Nothing else matters. Obviously, we step out of the division for series that does matter. But, I mean, you got to definitely win within your own right now going forward.
Yeah, and around the league for me, obviously, everybody's doing their little rivalry series right now. Toronto is our old school, rivals back from, I think they used to be in our division. But the series that I've probably been paying the most attention to is the Chicago one, and just keeping an eye on our ops. Murakami continues to hit home runs, like you talked about. Miguel Vargas has been one of the better hitters in baseball. He's hitting a ton of home runs as well. Hit a 3-run home run yesterday. I think Murakami and Vargas both hit home runs. So they're definitely going to be a force to reckon with once we head up with them. But yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me get to Tim's comment real quick. How about those cards? Oh, here we go again. Media and y'all talking and saying they were going to be in the basement 162 games, but looking good. Yep. Tim's going to let us know every week about how the Cardinals are. Let's pull them up here.
Yeah, it's
1.5.
Here.
I don't watch very much St. Louis. Like I said, I only know about what? You got Nootbaar, you got Burleson, you got Mason Wynn. I don't know how they're getting that done. Chris Paddock got a win yesterday for the Cincinnati. If you were dying to know where he's at now, he's with the Cincinnati Reds, and he got a win yesterday. But I'm gonna jump right into this transition. You talked about lack of home runs a little bit ago, as far as Luis Arias. How long before you start having Jordan Walker? Yeah, he killed the Tigers that first series at home. But yeah, Cole Keith, man, this guy's got 6 RBIs. Granted, he's hitting over 300, but how long before how long before we're concerned about our 6'2", 220-pound corner infielder being a slap hitter? Just throwing it out there.
I don't know if it's so much him being a slap hitter. I think he's so focused on just making quality enough contact to just put the ball in play and get on base. Because he's like some of the other guys had problems striking out, right? And getting on base was not a strong suit of his. He didn't take very many walks. Although he didn't strike out a ton, his ratio wasn't great to really offset that against the other guys who did have, like Riley Green, who had way more higher volume of strikeouts, but also had way more home runs and other power numbers. So, and he's batted kind of everywhere around the line, the top three of the lineup, really. He really isn't a leadoff guy. Traditionally, he's not that fast, although he has swipes and bags and pass. You'll be happy if you get 10 from him in a year. But the hard hit that we've noted, that remember his barrel percentage, his hard hit percentage over the last few years would maybe indicate that if he had guys on base, he could be driving in some runs to your lack of RBI point. So do you put him second and third? Now McGonigal's been leading off, and Colt's been hitting second and third behind or ahead of Glaber when he was in there. So, but this lineup has changed so much. No one's really been able to settle in. So
I saw how you
kind of are just looking at it like, all right.
Yeah. I mean, I saw how you lead batting third against a righty on Friday. I'm like, what? And of course he went
We're getting creative, man. We are getting super creative with these. I don't know how many different combinations are left, but we got to be in the bottom.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's, we invested in Colt. For it to be, what is it, June almost? We're halfway through June. He doesn't have any, he doesn't have any home runs. Doesn't really have a lot of RBIs. I mean, I think to have 6 RBIs, I think Gage has got like 4 or 5 already in a week's time. So I don't know. He's always been a mystery.
Home run.
You said he's got 2. He's got 2 already.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's always been a mystery. I mean, the metrics always, look to be in his favor, but and I think AJ said that he's not even 100% right now. I don't know what is ailing him right now, but he did say that he's not 100%. So, but that's Colt right now. I guess we can talk a little bit about we can start the trade talks a tiny bit. I think you either saw the post on your own or I sent it to you, but they were talking about potential teams that could be interested in Rafi Devers. And the Tigers were, I think, number 3 on that list, which I wouldn't be opposed to. Torkelson is back under 200, really hasn't shown much. I mean, he did have that walk-off hit on Friday, which was nice, but he hasn't shown much life since that one crazy week he had in Cincinnati. But yeah, I think we definitely could utilize a big bat in the middle of the lineup, somebody who's solidified, who's been there, done that, been an all-star. So I wouldn't be opposed to it. Devers hasn't really had a good run in San Francisco. It's obviously not a good, not a great hitter's park. He's off to a slow start. He's been better as of late. This week he's got 3 home in the last 15 days, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 333 average. So he's starting to, perk up a little bit. I think he's a guy that historically starts a little bit slow. But I know he's locked down contractually for the foreseeable future, for quite some time. So it certainly would be a big commitment. What are your thoughts on Devers? Obviously, there was a lot of controversy about third base, first base, DH, and what he would be willing to play. But would that be something that interests you if it made sense?
Power's power, but I mean, at his contract, man, he signed a 10-year extension back in 2023 at $313.5 million with 20 in signing, averaging 31 plus a year in AAV, fully guaranteed. That contract is. You get $7.5 million annually from 2034 through 2043 in deferred payments, reducing the present day contract to about $291.5 million over 10 years, so just over $29 million annual value. I don't see it. He doesn't do much defensively, and even if they're eating some of that contract, man, you have him for 7 more years. You are married to this guy, and frankly, as you've got the Devont pulled up for those that are watching on the YouTube visual side,
Yuck.
Man, this would be like committing to to be like committing to a Kenta Maeda for almost a majority of a decade.
Yeah, it was much. This was last year's, much better. A lot of the hard hit rate was through the roof. He was taking a ton of walks, which was nice. And you look now.
But that's combined. That's both teams. Remember, he got traded.
That's both teams, but that was an early trade though. A lot of that was San Francisco, I think.
True.
So I really don't know what the deal is, because that looks like the way it looks right now, looks like a minor league player, like a single A player trying to, cosplay as a major league,
Are you punking us? Is that Zach Short? I think that's Zach Short's page.
Yeah, right. And it's crazy because Zach Short's probably don't look that bad from what last time.
Don't do it.
No, check it out.
My eyes.
Oh, okay. No, okay. Just the walk rate, high walk rate. But yeah, that would be a pretty ballsy commitment. I'd like to think that he's way better than what he's showing right here. Like I said, just in the last couple of weeks, it's gotten better. Obviously, the Giants Stadium is just not a hitter-friendly ballpark. I'm sure he doesn't love it. He does kind of spray the ball to all fields, which is probably what was to his benefit when he had the big green monster to kind of just slap balls off of. But I don't know. We got to do something. This probably isn't the move, especially at the amount of money and years of commitment that we have. But another guy that we kind of discussed offline, who's having a strong year in Colorado nonetheless, because, obviously that is a hitter-friendly ballpark. But yeah, he's a guy that's only now, you want to talk about years of commitment. I think he signed a 1-year, $6 million deal with Colorado. So push comes to shove, I don't think you have to give up too much. I don't think that you can decide he can be a rental or somebody that you sign long term if he ends up being a good fit over in the corner outfield, which we kind of have a big hole there. You got Wenceel Perez, you got Kerry Carpenter can be your DH, but you don't have a lot of production in that corner outfield. You got Vierling that kind of plays out there. He's a center fielder right now, but yeah, he hit the most home runs he ever hit was last year, which was 24. He's got half of that well before the halfway mark of the year. So he's raking. He's hitting for average. He's getting on base. He's got some speed. Let's see if he's still not much of a base stealer, but definitely would bring some punch to our lineup. He's 28 years old, so I don't think he has a long tenured career of success, but I think it would be a cheap option for a cheap acquisition. I don't think it would cost you a top end prospect or anything like that. Because look at his career.
You mean just as a rental if we weren't to extend him? We were just to get him for the playoff run, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think that he could be a potential rental or somebody that you could bring back for not that much money, because guys that finally hit their highest potential at 28 years old, they're not worth as much as somebody that is an all-star at 22, 23, like Riley Green. So I think he would be cheap to Tim says, I believe he needs to get mentally right after that drama before the trade. We went downhill and then stayed down after the trade. Yeah. Talking about Devers. But yeah, I like, his durability the last couple of years, 124, 135. He's played in 38 games this year. You can say that maybe the stats are boosted a little bit due to him playing in Colorado the last couple of years. But like I said, let's pull up his contract real quick. Pretty sure it's 1 year, $6 million. 1 year, $4 million.
Ooh.
Keeps the outfielder under team control with 1 more year arbitration eligibility remaining before he becomes an unrestricted free agent.
Oh, okay. So they agreed to arbitration the previous year of $4 million for his contract. Okay, so he's 1 more year. So he has 1 more year of team control. So that makes it a little more. It makes it a bit more attractive, actually. So, but now obviously your return is to them is a little more than just a rental for 8 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever. So,
right. Which, I mean, eventually,
if it's just 1 for 1, Perez, would you do it?
Oh, Perez, yeah. Yeah, for Perez, I don't know why they would do it, but I mean, even some of these guys, if you're not
going to put an outfielder in the trade going back, then I would obviously would be then leaning then they'd be re-signing to him at that point. If you're going to ship out someone versus just cutting them or waiving them, so that'd be interesting. But another left-handed bat.
Yeah, but one that's raking. I mean, 12 home. What did I say? 12 home runs. I think our home run leader. I think our home run leader is either Dingler or Green right now.
It's got to be. I think he's got 2 this week. I think he's got like 6 or 7. Yeah, the team as a whole doesn't have many. I mean, Torque had the 5 in the 1 week, and I don't think he's got any other home runs outside of that week.
So Dingler's got 8. I don't think Green has 8.
8. Okay. No, he's got 5 or 6. Be my guess.
Green has 4. Wow. But he's hitting 327. Yeah. So I'll tell you what, Green has quieted the haters about the strikeout situation. I mean, I think he definitely took heed, but he has been everything for us this year. I think he's played in literally every game besides maybe one. I do have. Yeah, he's hitting 417 in his last 15 days, 379 in his last 30 days, 435 in his last 7. I mean, he is just. But I think he did. I think he made an adjustment though. I gotta believe he made some adjustments because he's not hitting as many home runs. But he's probably got one of the better. He's probably got one of the higher averages. 327 is that's crazy.
He's leading the team because McGonigal has fallen under 300.
I think Keats is above McGonigal at this point.
Yes, he also is hitting over 300. So it's just Keith and Riley over 300 right now. Dingler's kind of been bouncing between 240 and 250 the last week or so. But in terms of WAR, McGonigal's leading in WAR, and then Dingler and Green are actually tied, 1.6 each.
Wow. Yeah, McGonigal's been playing great defense too. As far as Green, look at that walk rate. I mean, not still striking out a decent amount, but he is walking a ton. I mean, his on-base percentage is 419. That's amazing. So shout out to Green.
Most bases, but
yeah. I mean, yeah, he's. I think he had a streak going. He may still have that streak going, of reaching base at least once per game. So, yeah, about time we pay him. He's playing some the Savant doesn't really give him justice as far as his defense. He's making some nice catches out there as well, but yeah, he's been huge for us. So we'll see. We will see. probables, upcoming schedule, and hold on. I'm gonna take our last break here because we had a nice little run there, as we do sometimes. Be right back. All right, who we got coming up?
All right. No rest for the wounded here. The Tigers will finish up the series today against the Jays. Put their heads on the pillow, wake up, and play 4 against the Cleveland Guardians. First against them this year. Monday will be Framber in his return from suspension against Saccone. Tuesday, Montero against Parker Messick. That will be a very interesting matchup. Wednesday will be TBD or Chaos almost surely against BB. And then Thursday, the matinee will be Casey Mize against Cantillo. Those are all going to be a couple of interesting matchups there. And frankly, I think a pivotal matchup to say the least. Before they turn around and head to Baltimore for Orioles for 3. Flaherty will kick off that Friday night against Bassett. Saturday will be Valdez against Young. And Sunday, Montero will pitch for the second time that week against Rogers. With the brief week look ahead beyond that, they will have finally an off day after that on that Monday. After Memorial, I believe that is. Yeah, Memorial Day. Monday, they will not be playing. Tuesday through Thursday, the Angels come to town before traveling to the other side, the ugly side of Chicago, for the first of 4 against, or well, first 4 series, but first game in the series against the White Sox.
Yeah, and this upcoming series will actually be Framber's second time back. He did pitch against the Mets, I believe, and actually, I was impressed. I talked about it. He threw like 100 plus pitches. He's definitely a workhorse when he's not, suspended or doing weird stuff. But I need to see a little bit more from him. His ERA is at 4.32. He's been getting beat up a little bit. The defense hasn't been great behind him, which isn't ideal for a ground ball pitcher. But he is the ace at the current moment. It could very well be the ace for the foreseeable future down the line. So it hasn't been pretty, but, pressure makes diamonds. And these are some of the things that we got to go through to get to the very end. Starting pitching hasn't been terrible for us. Like I'll venture to say the pitching, despite everything, the starting pitching, I don't know about the bullpen's been up and down, but the starting pitching has, I think will still continue to be a strength for us, especially when Skubal comes back. Mize, Skubal, Valdez is a very formidable top 3. You throw in, Montero, Flaherty, I don't even know. But very soon, Melton will be back. And somewhere down the line, next couple months, Jackson Jobe as well. So you just got to weather the storm, get healthy, and handle our business in the division. I think that's what it comes down to. This Cleveland series is massive. We're a very strong home team. Let me bring back up. That was one thing that I didn't get a chance to, that I saw, but I forgot to talk about. Yes, there it is. So the Tigers are 13-7 at home and 7-19 away. And 2-8 in the last 10. That is terrible. But for whatever reason, we are, we probably are one of the better home teams in all of baseball. It looks like have we played the least amount of home games? All these other guys, 24? We're at 20. So not, 23, 25, 23. Yeah, we've played.
Tampa's played 20.
They played 20 as well. Okay. But even in our division, we've played just one less series, I guess, at home than everybody else. And then of course we have a home series coming up this, on Monday. So that'll even things out. But Yeah, for whatever reason, we just play better at home. I know that Riley Green hits pretty well at home as well. So, yeah, got to continue to protect home and just got to play a little better than 7 and what is 7 and out of 23? That's like 350. That's a 350 average away. Got to be better. Got to be at least 500, like you see the Guardians and Chicago's playing. So, yeah. With that said, big series coming up against Cleveland. Gotta protect the division. Gotta protect home. Any closing remarks or thoughts before we get up out of here?
Yeah, it'll be big if and when they make it sound like right now that Will Vest will be activated at any given day here. Maybe for today, we'll see. I was just happy to see that Mize was good because I voiced some concern of rushing someone back who normally would go get a rehab start or two in to kind of like, okay, we're good. Let's go ahead and we're going to throw him back into the live fire of the major league games. So that was good. I thought that was kind of a potential unnecessary risk to take, but they do know better for the most part. So it panned out. So, no water over the bridge to sweep aside in that regard. Dingler with some clutch hits after he had a down 10-day period or so after he was off to a good start. Boy, yeah, something's got to happen. We can't have these lineups rolling out. Dingler and Rogers hitting the same lineup together for much often. Because right now his Jake Rogers' biggest contribution is coming out of the bullpen. And that's also not necessarily a good look I think he said, 3 appearances already. We're not even to Memorial Weekend yet. Yeah, look, it's funny when it happens, but when it starts to happen too often, yeah, it's an indication of something else to your season. So, let's hope they get some home cooking here. Steal some wins any which way you can. Man, manufacture something. I feel like AJ's got to stop hitting his head against the wall and doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. That's what insanity's called. So, small ball bunt. You sent me this the other day. The highest bunt rates they've seen in 10 years in terms of bunt activity across the league. And yet we highlighted the other year, they were the dead last in bunt attempts and even successful bunts, period. Of course, injuries play a different role right now, but they gotta do anything they can to push across runs. And I still see at the high school level, man, bunting is still a very taught on principle. So I don't see why the big boys, wouldn't utilize it if they're continuing to struggle running in scoring position. Do we get guys that are getting on walks? Mention, but these power guys can't get the ball in play to driving runs. And it's killing them.
Can you imagine Spencer Torkelson squaring and bunting?
Well, it'd be the same as him taking a walk, but the only thing is the walk guarantees the 90 feet to the bag. You have to run it out of the box.
Right. Yeah.
But
we ought to have some guys that can drop some bunts, but yeah, it's I don't know. We'll see how things go today. Game starts in a couple hours. I'm gonna try to watch it while I celebrate my nephew's first birthday. But yeah,
give him a nice cool gift that he won't remember.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm not gonna overthink it too much. But yeah, subscribe to the channel. We're here every Sunday recapping a week in baseball. We'll be back. Hopefully our Tigers can fare better over the next week than they have the previous 2 of 8 in the last 10. Not good. Guardians coming to town. We'll see. Catch y'all next week. We out of here.
What also is tonight?
Oh, yes. Almost forgot. Game 7 at 8 o'clock, 8:30, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. We got the Pistons against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm going to be, my heart can't take another game 7, but here we are again. It's in Detroit, which is very important. And hopefully we can just shut the door. I think that Cleveland might feel a little defeated not getting it done on their home court because they had the opportunity to send us home. But we're back in Detroit, should be live in there. Almost went to the game, but I did not. Yeah, stay tuned for that Monday show, Central Division. Hopefully I can talk some shit talk a little shit on Monday after a big W. But yeah, now we're really out of here.
Get your lick back. If a nugget gon' do something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop, let this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick